Welcome to the Huron Valley Now podcast, where we tell inspiring stories of business, life, and giving back. Today, I'm here with Pastor Lucas Forsthoff from the Cornerstone Church here in Highland. Pastor Lucas, can you introduce yourself to the community? Tell them a little bit about who you are and maybe how you became a pastor here at Cornerstone.
Yeah, well, let's see here. I do work at Cornerstone Church in Highland, and my dad's the pastor of the church. And I felt like I wanted to be in the ministry. I felt a call to the ministry when I was 15 years old, and I ended up going off to college to study for the ministry, get my degree. And then after I had graduated college, I had a few different job offers from some pastors around, actually kind of around the U.S. And I ended up taking the job back at my home church with my dad that he had offered me. And so now I've been at the church now for, I think, 16 years. So that's kind of my story in a real short format version, I guess you could say. So I've been serving there for all these years now.
And over the last few years, you've really grown into some bigger responsibilities. How's that experience been for you?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think being on the staff, when you kind of come on a staff as a young college graduate, you kind of have to start at the bottom, so to speak. I mean, I think with any career, you unless you start your own business, you kind of start at the bottom, and if you do well there, then hopefully you get promoted. And that's kind of been my story throughout all these years, is kind of been promoted now. And so actually now I'm the executive pastor at the church, and that's a new position for me this year. So I feel like I'm still growing into it a little bit and figuring it out still as well.
I love watching you grow at the church, and I've seen you do a lot of great work with the youth of the church. What inspires you to connect with the younger generation?
Well, the truth of any business or church or nonprofit or organization is if you don't get the young people, you probably won't have a future. So if your staff is aging out, is getting older, then it's going to be difficult, I think, to continue the work. If your clients get older, it only makes sense that if your clients are getting older, they're going to one day not be with you.
Yes.
So you better get younger clients so the future is brighter. And I think that's always been the mindset at Cornerstone Church, is the youth are the future. So let's make a large investment into youth, into young adult community. And we've done that at Cornerstone Church. I think the majority of the money goes to staffing youth and young adults, to reaching youth and young adults, and to developing youth and young adults.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of great work with that. You've even just bought a new bus because of how much you're connecting with the youth in the community.
Yeah, we send a bus out every week to pick up students from I can't remember what ages. I think if they're in kindergarten, they can actually hop on the bus. We don't get many that young because of parents aren't comfortable saying kindergarten's on the bus. But we pick up elementary age kids, middle schoolers, and high schoolers every Wednesday night. We send out some buses. It's doing really well. We've been able to regrow that since COVID. COVID killed it completely, and then we have since been able to grow it back up. And it got to the point where we actually needed to buy a new bus. We bought a really nice bus this time. I kind of call it an airport shuttle because it's a really nice experience, leather seats, and
It looks beautiful.
It's beautiful, exactly. Yeah, it's a beautiful bus, so we're really proud of it.
And we also have another ministry at the church, the Champions Ministry. Can you tell me a little bit about that, how it got started? What's the primary mission of this ministry?
Yeah, the heart behind it is pretty simple. Almost 12 years ago now, my wife and I were pregnant with our first child. It was a girl, and there was some testing done early on with the baby, and before the baby was even born, they kind of noticed something when they were doing ultrasounds, and they had told us it appears that your child is going to have Down syndrome, and they said, but we wouldn't know for sure until the baby is born, after we run some blood tests and things like that. And so we started praying and asked the Lord, what's going on and all this stuff. But baby was born, healthy baby. Nothing wrong with her. Her name is Charlotte. But they did some blood tests, and sure enough, it came back that she has Down syndrome. And so now she is about to turn 12 years old in August. And I think the journey of having a child with special needs has allowed us to see a side of humanity that we would have never been able to experience unless we had a child with Down syndrome. So immediately we're put into programs through the city and the state, through the school systems that give our child every possible experience to succeed. So she was, interesting enough, John, she was hopping on a bus to go to school when she was 2 because they wanted her to get ready for kindergarten. They wanted her so she was going to need a long road to get ready. So like I said, we've been a part of so many amazing organizations and people that wanted to help us and wanted to help our daughter, give her the best possible life necessary. So we've been kind of in the systems now for 12 years, and we noticed that the schools and the state was offering so many wonderful programs for children who are born with special needs, of all sorts of special needs. There's so many different spectrums out there. And we've been really able to be a part of all of them with the community that we've been in through all these years. And so we noticed the state was offering all these amazing experiences and programs, and they had all these systems in place to help Charlie succeed at school and at camps and all these different areas. She's actually now in the Special Olympics. She tried out for the Special Olympic swim team, and she made it. For the state of Michigan. So that was really exciting. So like all these experiences, and we looked at the church, specifically our church, and we noticed that she's not getting the same help at the church or the same kind of resources at the church. And we really wanted to be a part of developing a program and a system to help not just our daughter succeed at church, but everybody with special needs succeed in church. We're talking like newborn through adulthood. We've created the program called Champions Ministry. And I would say that the Champions Ministry does 4 big things at Cornerstone Church. You probably don't even know all that the Champions Ministry does.
Oh, no.
But there's like 4 avenues at work that help children to adults thrive at church. It's actually gotten to a point where it's actually been really successful, John, and now we're starting to get other churches in the area have caught wind of what we're doing. They also have programs to help children and adults with special needs at their church. And so they started calling us and saying, hey, what are you doing? Maybe we can partner with something. Tell us how you're doing. It seems like you're doing really well. Teach us a little bit too. Maybe we can do some stuff together. So it's been pretty exciting.
I love seeing that spread.
It's really fun, and it's really inspiring. And we've just really noticed that people want to be a part of a solution. And that's really exciting. And so I'm trying to remember all the 4 avenues. My wife knows this stuff a whole lot better. But one of the avenues is a buddy system. And so if a child has special needs or an adult has special needs and they come to Cornerstone Church, they before they arrive, they fill out an intake form. And on the intake form, it's a very wonderful experience for this intake form. It kind of tells us, what their diagnosis is, maybe some of the areas where they would need a little extra help in, how severe is the diagnosis, are they able to do a lot of things on their own? If not, what can't they do on their own? How and all this stuff. So before they even arrive, we get this intake form from them. Probably their parent usually fills it out. And we receive that. And so then we assign that person or that child a buddy for the day, a buddy. And this buddy is given that form. And so they can see everything that they might need for the day at church. And so they're kind of well equipped and well aware of everything happening. And so when they come, the child has a buddy in class, so the parents can just attend church, really just like be an attender, receive, learn and grow at church. And
That's a great gift.
yeah, that's part of the problem with families that has a special need child or special need adult now, is that they are the ones doing all the work all the time, and they never get to just simply receive or relax. And that's the gift we're giving. We're not just loving on a student or an adult with special needs for the day. We're actually giving a wonderful gift to the parents and the other children as well. They get a break for a few hours, a time to just receive. And when you come to church, it's so important to be able to have time to pray, worship, hear the word of the Lord preached. At the end, there's always moments at the end of church where we, sometimes like we have moments of worship at the end. We don't want them to have to leave the service early to walk their child around the hall, to give them a break, or their adult special needs child around to tend to them. We want to do all that for them so that they can just come to church and just be a part of things. So there's a buddy system. We offer quarterly at the church respite events as well. And these are Saturday 3-hour-long experiences where we've created little programs and music and arts and crafts, singing and dancing, 3-hour-long experience where we encourage parents to come to drop off their special needs child or adult and go on a date, and we'll free experience for the children, free experience for the parents. And it's not just babysitting. Now, it's really an interactive experience where we're playing and having fun, and there's organized things from leaders at the church, and it's a blast. And I've been able to be a part of all those now. So we've got the buddy system, we've got the respite experience. Then we offer something special just for adults. We're talking 18 and older. Once a month on a Wednesday night at church, we have a special class just for adults with special needs, 18 and older. And that's actually been one of our most thriving parts of this Champions ministry, is that these adults, we've come to learn that once they kind of age out of the schooling experience, that there's nothing for them. The state doesn't offer a ton for them. And a lot of these special needs adults are kind of sitting at home alone, and they're looking for community. They're looking for friends. And so we offer a once-a-month class just for adults, and that has been a wonderful experience. And every time they meet, it's been growing. That parents are catching wind of it. They're excited to bring their child to it, who's an 18 and older child. And we're just hearing wonderful stories from these parents who are saying, this is exactly what my son or daughter needed.
We all need that connection and that community, and it's beautiful that you're providing them that space. So thank you.
Yeah. That's the third kind of avenue of this experience, and I can't remember the fourth thing that we do.
It's okay. Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Actually, you can find it on the website, cornerstonehighland.com. There's a whole Champions page.
And if people want to get started in the Champions, how do they get started?
Sure. If this is something maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's wonderful, like you're hearing this or watching this, and you have a child with special needs, you can call the church and say, hey, I got a child with special needs, and we're going to come for their very first time. How do I get that intake form? You can call the church and figure that out. That number is 248-887-1600. But also you can fill out that intake form just on your own, either on your phone or a laptop, just by going to our website, cornerstonehighland.com/champions. The intake forms are on there. You just follow the prompts, fill it out, and hit submit at the end, and we'll receive that, and we'll call you once we receive that intake form and ask you some more questions, and we'll be ready for you. We'll have a buddy ready for you, depending on what your situation might be or the age of your child. We'll then develop an experience just for them.
Awesome. You've made it really simple and really welcoming for people.
Yeah, my wife is pretty phenomenal when it comes to organization, and figuring out all the steps and everything. So she's the one who's developed all this.
Can you share some memorable experiences or maybe some stories that some of the parents have shared with you of what they've gotten out of the Champions program?
Yeah, in particular, one of the stories that really sticks out to me is there is a girl that's been coming to Cornerstone Church since she was born, and her name is Randy, and she has Down syndrome. And Randy and her mother Patty have been coming to Cornerstone Church, like I said, since Randy was born. And Randy is now 30 years old. And we started the Champions Ministry a little over a year ago, and immediately Randy jumped into the experience as an adult. And we have just recently been able to sit down and talk with her mom, Patty. And it was wonderful to hear from Patty how blessed Randy has been to make all these new friends. Randy comes to not only to the once a month class for the adults, but that's been growing, and she's been making friends, which is pretty exciting, and getting to know more people who she can relate to, which has been really exciting. She's been growing in her relationship with the Lord, because that's what the class is. It's not just a room where they just sit down and eat donuts and color. No, this is actual, there's teachers in there. They go over Bible lessons, and there's worship. There's a time of prayer at the end. So she's been growing. They deliver the Bible lesson at a level that they can understand. And that's always been the issue with adults with special needs, is that they don't learn at the level of an adult, even though they're sitting in the sanctuary and they're listening to the preaching and they're listening to the worship. They don't quite catch everything and connect with everything. So we teach at a level that they can connect on, which has been wonderful. So her mom was really happy about that. And it was just saying, her mom just said really blankly, Randy, before this, she just kind of sat at home all day. And, it's kind of sad, isn't it? That's what we found with these adults with special needs, is that they don't have much to do. And she says she's actually been making friends. There's something that she looks forward to coming up. And then she has a buddy every single time she comes to church, and her buddy apparently have connected so well. And she just gets so excited to come to church, and there's something to look forward to in the next coming days. And that's just one testimony that we've been hearing. And another one too, I just was noticed a couple weeks ago, we had our once a month class for the adults. And this brand new family showed up with their adult child who had special needs. They put him in the class, and the parents went to church for the first time in a long time, where they were able to enjoy the worship, enjoy the preaching, meet people, talk to people freely. Their faces were just glowing. It was wonderful to see. That was something that was special to see as well.
I can imagine how it feels to just take that weight off your shoulders for an evening.
Yes, it's wonderful. Yep.
That's very good. How do you see the Champions Ministry growing in the community? You've mentioned it growing a few times.
That's interesting. It's hard to predict how it'll grow or where it'll go. It's hard to predict all that. And so because of that, John, there's always a lot of this, you just do your work, you just do what you can do today.
Yes.
And as doors open, just walk through them. That's what we've always learned, is don't try to force any kind of ministry or your business or outreach or nonprofit. You can't really force it to go down a certain road. You just kind of have to let it go. Certain things have grown that we didn't see coming. In our minds, I don't think from the beginning we had a plan for the adults with special needs. And then somebody quickly, as it was being started, only a few months into it, we were offering the buddy systems and the respites on Saturdays. Somebody was like, we should do a once a month class for these adults with special needs. And we hadn't even thought of it. And that's been one of our most growth areas with this champions ministry has been with the adults, and we didn't see that coming. So it's hard to say exactly where it's going, but we're focused on meeting the needs of our families at Cornerstone Church first. We want to take care of our families first. So if you come to Cornerstone Church, we're going to take care of you first, and then we offer outreach experiences to the community as well with the respites and things like that. And so we're going to keep offering those. We want to see those grow. We want to see those bless families and parents especially to go on dates, and to get out of the house a little bit and to enjoy, their relationship together. And so that's really the goal right now. I think it's just to continue to take care of Cornerstone families, take care of people who want to call Cornerstone Church their home church. We want to keep taking care of them first and foremost. That's our first responsibility. Really feel that. Take care of the people first. So it's hard to say.
So for listeners who maybe want to support the Champions Ministry or get involved and help out, how could they do that?
So yeah, if you want to support, there's always the financial side of things. And you can give to the Champions Ministry through our website, cornerstonehighland.com/give. There's a giving page on there, and there's a spot to memo where you want your money specifically to go, and you can memo on there the Champions Ministry if you want to.
Very good.
If you want to serve in the Champions Ministry, there is a system in place to start serving. Anytime you're working with children, it's a little bit more. There's some more steps in place. We require you to become a member of Cornerstone Church, which will require you to attend for at least 6 months, then go through the membership class that we offer, and then there is a background check that you'll need to go through. And so we want to make sure that anybody working with children, that they are screened and that we know them and we trust them and that they're safe. That's first and foremost. So there's that side of things. You would have to do that. If you wanted to work with the adults, it's a little easier. There's no screening necessary to work with the adults, but we would ask that you do become a member of Cornerstone Church. So that's one of the things I think that makes the ministry really successful at Cornerstone Church, is that we take a few extra steps to make sure that anybody serving is a good, safe person. And that's important for people, that they're safe, that when they drop the children off, that it's a safe, clean, fun environment. And we offer that for sure.
I'm glad you're putting in the work to ensure that as
very
much as you can.
It's very important, very important.
And you've mentioned a lot of different events, or a few different events during this. Do you want to sum it up for me? What are the upcoming events that you have relating to the Champions Ministry?
Yes. So the summer months are slow and we try not to do too much. So everything kind of starts back up in September. Our first adult class for people with special needs will be September 4th at the church. And then we're also planning on having another respite event for families in September as well. And that date right now is to be determined. It hasn't yet been approved as to which Saturday it will be in September, but it will be in September of 2024.
Awesome.
And then our adult class on Wednesday night is always the first Wednesday of every month. So it'll go September, October, November, and so on as the calendar unfolds.
Awesome. All right, check it out. So what inspires you most about the work that you're doing with this Champions Ministry?
So I think one of the reasons that the Champions Ministry has been so successful, John, is because it's so pure and holy. It's all love. And that's what makes it so special and so, I think, done well. Sometimes you start off with maybe you want to do a business, a nonprofit, you want to start a church. You start off correct, but then you get jaded along the way, and you forget why you started it all. You forgot that you wanted to help people, and then you kind of just get grinding on the work, and you get caught up in paperwork, and you get, something happens. It becomes about money, maybe. It becomes about success. It becomes about your ego, right? So really none of that is possible with this ministry. When you serve these individuals, all you receive from them is love. So it keeps it so pure, so holy. It makes it so wonderful. It makes it special. There's nothing they can give you, but they give you love. And there's nothing you can give them but love, right? So that's what makes this ministry successful, is it just stays steady. The main thing stays the main thing, Since if you are serving somebody with special needs, you're doing it you're deciding to do it because you want to love somebody, right? And after serving with, maybe you were a buddy with them for a service, maybe you helped them out for 3 hours at the respite, maybe you just, passed out the cookies at the Wednesday night event for the adults. Maybe that's all you did, right? It just stays so simple. It's such a simple process of serving. And they can't give you anything but a smile and a hug. And they give you that, though, right? They give you that hug. They give you that smile. And you get filled with all this love. And that's what becomes that's why you want to do it again, is because you felt so much love, right? So it stays so basic. And it makes everything stay in the right lane. You don't get out of your original vision. You don't get out of your lane. You just stay in your lane. And that's what actually, I think, what makes it so successful.
And for other parents in the community who have children who have extra needs, what kind of advice would you give them if they're looking for some resources in our community?
I highly recommend making sure, as a parent, because with myself being a parent of somebody with special needs, we try to utilize every resource that the state has to offer. And I really encourage, obviously, any parent to do that. Also, there's wonderful, if you have an adult with special needs, there's wonderful people out there who have created jobs specifically for adults with special needs. Research them, search them out, find them. There is farms and restaurants and different communities out there that want to hire adults with special needs and want to love on them. Research them and find them out. If you don't go to a church at all, I'll just encourage you to find a church. And if you find a church, wonderful. If you're at a church right now and you're looking for a church that offers something for your special needs child, you can look up Cornerstone, cornerstonehighland.com, or there's other churches too, John, that we've come to find out that's doing things just like this. Woodside is a church that does this. 242 is a church that has wonderful ministries for specifically special needs children and special needs adults. We do as well. There's not a lot, but there are some. Get into a church. Get your child, get your adult into these experiences to develop their relationships with one another and their relationship with Jesus, to grow them and get people to love on them. You will be very blessed by that. That was what I would encourage anybody out there to do with a child with special needs, for sure.
I'm grateful for all the work that you've been doing, and I love seeing it grow at our church and at all the churches in the community. Is there a particular message that you want to leave our community with?
So if you are out there and you have a child with special needs, maybe you've got like a cousin with special needs, a niece and a nephew, or you've got a brother-in-law that, you know what I'm saying, you married into the family or something like that. Now you got somebody in your life now that's special needs, or you know somebody that's special needs. My encouragement to you out there is that you are not alone, that there is a large, wonderful community out there that we have come to develop relationships with over these years, that they are looking for a community, they're looking for friends, they're looking for things to do, they're looking for love. And I would really encourage you to not isolate yourself and your family and these people, but to do everything you can to be involved in everything that the community has to offer. Sometimes it's in your hometown, and other times it's offered in a city further away, like maybe down in the Detroit area or Ann Arbor area. But I would just say, do whatever it takes to get your family member into these communities, into these experiences. You won't regret it.
Thank you. I really do appreciate the work that you and the church are doing to provide these opportunities for our community. Thank you for coming on the podcast. This was a fun conversation. It was a pleasure talking with you. And I hope that you all enjoyed another episode of the Huron Valley Now podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you next time. This episode was sponsored by the Cairo Tribe Chiropractic.
When you're ready to embrace a healthier perspective tailored to your needs, discover a world of wellness with the Cairo Tribe.
Everybody say, bring that bone. Bring that bone along. Come on, bring that bone. Bring that bone along.
At the Cairo Tribe, we specialize in easing daily pains and discomforts at our House of Wellness, where we focus on what truly works for you.
Everybody say, bring that bone. Hey, bring that bone along. Everybody say, bring that bone. Bring that bone along. Yeah.
Experience the difference at Cairo Tribe Chiropractic and Wellness in Highland. Call or text at 248-800-6214 or visit us online today.